morning, and welcome to the virtual Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism on this first Sunday of August. Thank you for joining us today, or whenever you are watching this. And please join me in our opening prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we welcome you into our hearts, into our minds, into our spirits. Fill us with your light, fill us with your love, and remind us that we are always a part of you. We ask that your peace flow around us and from us so that we can do our part in creating a peaceful and loving world. We ask that you bring to us our loved ones so that we may truly know that life and love continues into eternity. We give thanks for your presence in our lives, in our world, and most especially in our hearts as we say, Amen. And now I'd like to begin our service with a responsive reading from a hymnal, which is called The Divinity of Nature. Nature's demands are the only true guides to usefulness, probity, and progression. To know these demands is all we need to know. Faithfully to comply with them is all we need to do. If we would become all we are designed to be, and all we are capable of being. He who most perfectly understands the demands of nature in regard to his own and his neighbor's body and soul, most perfectly understands the operations of that infinite intelligence which manifests itself in all nature. He walks in the light and lives in the right, who seeks the truth in nature's book and molds his life accordingly. We and our neighbors are parts of nature. Therefore, what we do to our neighbors, we do to ourselves. Every act reflects upon ourselves. Let us be reverent so that sweet peace may come into our souls like the rose morning light into the bosom of the opening blossom. Let our hearts and souls be pure, sweet temples, fit for the divine to dwell therein. He who is ever faithful to his best ideals, through changes and fatigue, through opposition and injury, shall reach the loftiest spiritual heights and hold communion with saints and sages. And now with those thoughts in our minds, let us together recite our healing prayer, which will appear on your screen. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstruction from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. And now it's time for our healing meditation, a time when we can let go of the stress and difficulties of life and just be present with that infinite source, that power of love that is always available to us. So I ask you to just get comfortable in your chairs, remove anything you might be holding on to so that you can thoroughly relax, and just close your eyes and take a nice deep cleansing breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And just allow yourself to focus on that breath as it flows in and flows out, relaxing you, calming you, and soothing you. And as you focus on that breath, just imagine a beautiful light of peace flowing in with that breath, flowing ever so gently and moving through your systems, filling your lungs, filling your bloodstream, moving through your entire body. As you breathe out, release. Release the tightness, the stress, the dis-ease or discomforts that may have found their way into that physical body. And just allow that deep, profound peace that is always available to you as it flows from the divine. Allow that peace to fill your physical body, to restore you and to renew you. Letting go of all of the past, letting go of the future, and just being present in this sacred moment of now, this sacred healing moment where you can open to that healing power of God. And just feel that power, that healing light filling every muscle, every bone, every joint, every organ, every system, renewing and restoring, reminding every part of you how to work together in harmony, creating health and well-being. Feel that light flooding your body, expanding through your skin, through your pores, so that every particle of that body is filled with God's healing light, bringing to your body what it needs to be restored, to be renewed. And as your body takes in that light, it relaxes more and more, creating more health, more well-being. And your body settles into that place where it knows it's one with the divine source, where the light exists in every particle of it. And as your body relaxes, feel that light moving into your mind, clearing a path for love, for peace, for harmony, for joy. And feel that light gently flowing through your mind, removing any negative thoughts. Any thoughts that would hold you back from being who you were created to be, from being that divine expression, that magnificent spark of light. And as this light moves through your mind, you can feel the love filling you, allowing your infinite source to remind you, to bring you a knowing that you are loved beyond measure, always have been. Always will be loved exactly as you are in every moment. And allow that love to move through and transform any less than thought, any negative thought that you've been holding on to that's held you back from being who you were created to be. And as your mind expands, you reach higher and higher, and you open to the infinite wisdom that is available for you. You open to the infinite guidance that is there to help you live your life in the best possible way. Reaching up for the highest perspective. Looking through the eyes of God at all experiences. Learning and growing. Allow your mind to expand and open to that light, which will always guide and lead you. And feel that light gently washing through your emotional body, cleansing and clearing away the past pains and hurts of yesterday. Let them go. They don't belong in the now. They're from the past. It's over and done with. We take only the wisdom forward, and we live from this place of pure, unconditional love, as we are blended and in union with our divine source. And we feel that pure love flowing into our hearts, moving out from our hearts to all those we love, to all those we care about, moving beyond those to all people, knowing that we are a part of everything, a part of all of creation. We allow our love to flow out into the world, and that love carries God's infinite healing grace. And we hold the vision of our world filled with this light, our globe surrounded in this healing power, so that all beings receive what they need to come back into unity with themselves and with each other. As we hold this vision, we know we are a part of all that is. We know that as we share love, it flows out into our world and flows back to us. And as we stand in this vibration of love, we feel ourselves being lifted and carried to a magnificent place of beauty. And here in this place of beauty, we stand gazing upon a magnificent lake. And we see that lake placid and serene, so clear that it reflects the sky above it. Such a beautiful scene. We can look into the water and see the clouds moving gently across the horizon. The lake has become a reflection of what is above it. And as we stand gazing upon this beauty, we realize that we are a reflection of God on this planet. That as we connect, as we relax and open to the divine healing light, we reflect that light into the world. That is what we are meant to be. As above, so within. As above, so below. We send this light. We radiate this light. We become this light of God in all that we do. For we, like that lake, are a reflection of the infinite source. And as we stand as that reflection, we feel that love, we feel that peace, we feel that light filling us and flowing out into the world, reaching all beings. For we are the radiant light of God, reflecting God's love on this planet and with each other. We take a nice deep breath and feel the power of that love. That peace that fills us, that beauty that flows from this beautiful, peaceful scene. And we become that peace. But when we are at peace, we are like a placid lake, reflecting the light of God. So feel that peace going deep inside to the very core of your being, so that you may always be that reflection of light, that reflection of love, that radiant being you were created to be. And as you stand at this magnificent lake, feel your guides, your angels, your loved ones all gathered around you to let you know that this is the truth of your being, that you are a magnificent soul, a radiant light of God, here to reflect that light and shine that love into the world. Take a nice deep breath and bringing all that light, all that love, all that peace that you have felt in these moments, and carry them back to the room, feeling whole, complete, perfect, and peaceful. Take another nice deep breath, and as you're ready, open your eyes and smile. And be the peace this world needs. Be the reflection of God that this world desperately needs. And if we're all back, take another nice deep breath, feeling that beautiful light of God flowing out from you, and let us together recite a declaration of principles. In Spiritualism, we have no rules or regulations, no dogmas or creeds, but we do have a set of principles that help us to live our lives in the best possible way. So please read them with me as they appear on the screen. We believe in infinite spirit and that God is infinite spirit. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite spirit. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of an individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule, whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that they make their own happiness or unhappiness as they obey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter, and we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. So every week I stand here and talk to you about different things, and I always try to talk a little bit about our principles and about natural law, and I always seem to come back to the law of cause and effect, because that is so prevalent in our lives and we can see it so easily. And today I want to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about choice. Every choice we make creates a ripple. It's like dropping a stone in a beautiful pond or lake, and those ripples flow out and flow out. And imagine one loving word or one smile rippling out and affecting thousands, because those ripples continue to flow out and affect others. It's true of the opposite as well. So I'm going to ask you to think a little bit about what kind of ripples do you send out into the world? Because ripples travel out and back again. We know what we put out comes back to us, but it also affects and blends with many other ripples. The law of cause and effect is also known as the butterfly effect. It teaches us that one small thing happens here and a much bigger thing happens over here. I know the example they usually give is a butterfly flaps its wings in Kansas and there's a tsunami in Thailand. But who knows about that? I'm not quite sure about that one myself. But I do want to tell you a story that reflects how ripples can continue on through generations, and one small act can create a huge act further in the future. So I'm going to talk to you today about some Confederate raiders who many years ago raided a farm in Kansas, Missouri, and they kidnapped a baby. And they kidnapped him to sell, of course, and they sold him or bonded with a farmer named Moses Carver. And the farmer gave his only horse to save the life of that baby. Well, that farmer was Moses Carver, and the baby was George Washington Carver. And you may know some things about George Washington Carver. He was born a slave, but he ended up to be the first black African-American gentleman to attend Iowa State University. He also was very brilliant and created many kinds of plants and ways to rotate crops. So he was a very brilliant man, but he was taken in by Moses Carver and Moses took him in and helped him in his life and treated him as his own, as did Moses' wife Susan, who instilled in him a love of plants. She taught him all about the plants and how she used them in her cooking. I found out a new fact about George Washington Carver the other day, that he was also a mystic. And he would go out in the morning and he would ask nature questions. And he would listen deeply, and he would get those answers back. And then he would go into his laboratory and he would test those answers. So how he came up with a lot of his inventions was from the wisdom that he received from nature. And we can all talk to nature. We're all part of nature, and nature talks back if we listen in the right way. So George, this was part of who he was. He was a mystic and a scientist and an inventor, and he grew up to be an amazing man. But when he was at the university, he would go on botanical expeditions with his professor, and that professor would bring his young son with him. And George Washington Carver took this young son under his wing, and he instilled in him a love of plants and a curiosity in what could be done with those plants. So this little boy grew up to be Henry Wallace was his name, and he grew up to be the vice president under Franklin Delano Roosevelt for one term. And in his term, he created a station in Mexico that was asked to develop hybridized wheat that would grow in arid climates, because this Henry Wallace really wanted to use his love of plants and his curiosity to feed the world, to help the world. So he hired a man named Norman Borlaug. And Norman did succeed in creating a hybridized seed of corn and of wheat that would grow in arid climates. And they have been grown around the world, and it has been calculated that these seeds have saved more than 2 billion people from famine. So that's a big ripple, isn't it? It's a long story, I'm sorry, but it's a big ripple that from the choice made to save the baby to saving billions of lives, because all of our ripples sort of flow together, don't they? And as I think about this story, I think, who saved those billion people? Was it Norman Borlaug? Was it George Washington Carver? Was it FDR or the voters that put them in? Was it Moses or the professor who taught him? Was it Moses' wife Susan who helped that little boy to love plants? Or really, was it the raiders who chose to save that baby, to trade him rather than kill him? All of those things flow together, don't they? All of those choices that all those people made came together to create something wonderful. We all have made choices that have brought about something good. I'm sure if you think about it in your life, you'll be able to think about something that that your choice has created good for yourself and good for others. We can sometimes let go of things, don't hold on to them anymore, frees us to love again. We make a choice to love and forgive someone. We make a choice to lend a helping hand, a choice to give an encouraging word or a smile to uplift another. These are positive choices that lead to positive ripples that continue on and on. And I'm reminded of a story I heard long ago. I'm sure the details won't be exactly as the way I heard it. I remember hearing about a boy, a teenage boy, walking home from school one day. This boy was very sad, very depressed, very lonely, had no friends. And he had cleaned out his locker and put all of his books in his bag, and he had a big heavy backpack and was carrying all this heavy stuff home with him because he had given up and he was going home to commit suicide. And he didn't want his mother to have to clean out his locker. And as he was walking home looking sad and forlorn, another young boy came upon him. And he was a very friendly, very nice, very good boy. And he came up to him and said, "Hey, that looks heavy. Can I help you?" And so he allowed him to help him. And he was very surprised that this little boy was coming along to help him, because no one had done that in the past. And as they walked, they began to talk and they became friends. And then they began to make plans to meet and play together and do things together. And by the time this little boy got home, he was happy. He had a friend. His life had changed completely. And he no longer wanted to kill himself, and he looked forward to the next day. One helping hand, one uplifting word, one smile can change a life. And we know about this because this young boy grew up. He went to college, he went to medical school, he grew up to be a doctor, and he saved many, many lives. And at one point, he told his friend how it saved him. And that's such a touching story to realize one kind act can change someone's life. And if we're aware, if we're open, and if we're aware to see the people in our lives, we can change and we can create a ripple that will go on to create goodness on and on into the future. So that friendly little boy is a great example for all of us. Positive ripples. There are negative ripples too. A choice to turn away and ignore. Imagine what would have happened if that boy just ignored him. A thoughtless or angry word. How often have we said those things? And we have changed how someone has felt about themselves or about us. A dishonest action that may appear that no one is getting hurt can be devastating to someone. I think about the looters and the ripples that they created, the businesses that were lost, especially during this pandemic. Businesses are having a hard enough time already, and as the looters go in and destroy the property, those business owners are out of business. What happens to their family? So much bitterness in their heart and anger. Those are very horrible, negative ripples that go out into the world. So what do we do with the ripples that come into our lives? Because we're all creating them all the time with our choices. Well, the positive ones, we want to pay them forward, don't they? We always want to create good. So when we receive a positive ripple in our lives, when someone does something good for us, we send it out. We pay it forward. And that goes on and on and on. Someone smiles, you smile. They smile, they smile. That goes on and on. Ripples are amazing. And we can create them simply by little choices. But what do we do with the negative ones? The negative choices, we stop. We just stop them in their tracks. We transcend them and we transform them into a loving ripple. It's not always easy to do, but I think this is what the Master Jesus was trying to teach us. Turn the other cheek. If a negative ripple comes and slams you, stop. Transform that into something positive that you can create so that you stop the cycle of the negativity. Isn't that what we're here to do? Ripples can have positive and negative effects, but the important thing is what we do with them. What we do with what we have within us. What we do with what the universe brings to us. That's what's really important in life. I have another story to tell you about a cracked pot that kind of brings this message home. An elderly woman had 2 large pots, and each hung on the end of a pole which she carried across her neck. One of the pots had a crack, while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water. At the end of the long walks from the stream to the house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years, this went on daily, with the woman bringing home only 1.5 pots of water. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, but the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it could only do half of what it had been meant to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be bitter failure, it spoke to the woman one day by the stream. I am ashamed of myself because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your house. The old woman smiled. Did you notice that there are flowers on your side of the path, but not on the other pot side? That's because I have always known about your flaw. So I planted flower seeds on your side of the path. And every day while we walk back, you water them. For 2 years, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my table. Without you being just the way you are, there would not be this beauty in my home. Each of us has our own unique perceived flaws, but it's the cracks and flaws we each have that make our lives together so very interesting and rewarding. So be happy with who you are. Remember, God knows all about you, and has planted the seeds within you and around you, so all will flourish and grow. We are all here to be of service to one another, to help one another, to make our world a better place because we are here. Wherever you find yourself, try to make it just a little better because you were there. I have a student who inspires us all. She goes for walks each and every day. And when she goes for a walk, she takes a plastic bag with her. And as she walks, she picks up any trash she sees. She makes the world a better place because she was there. What a simple thing to do. How easy. How easy it is to make a difference in small ways. And she inspires others as they see her doing it, other people do it. That's ripples. That's what I'm here to talk to you about. We send ripples through our words, through our actions. So always be who you were created to be. Pay attention, live with conscious awareness. Be aware of the ripples you send out. Be conscious in how you live. And always appreciate who you really are. For even you may see imperfections, but God never sees imperfections in any of us. We are all perfect in the way we were created. So that imperfection that you see in yourself just might be the one thing that makes you perfect to do what you were meant to do. I'm going to leave you with a sweet little poem. A single act of kindness, like a stone thrown in a pond, sends rings and ripples outward that travel far beyond. And joining other ripples, flow outward to the sea. A single act of kindness affects eternity. God bless you all. Be kind. And now please enjoy a musical selection.
I've let my hope fail.
Thank you for that wonderful song. Now it's time for our spirit communication, a time where we work to prove that life continues and we bring forth their evidence, their love, and their wisdom. Thank you so much for the emails that I got last week. It's wonderful to know that we're making that connection. So if you recognize the spirit loved ones that come through today, please send me an email and let me know. But also please remember that they come in groups, and you may recognize a piece or two that probably does mean that your loved ones are there and trying to reach you. But the messages are universal. They come to share their wisdom so that they can uplift and help everyone who's watching. So I don't know who's out there listening, but I know that the spirit world does. And I will do my best to bring forth their love, their wisdom, and their evidence in the best possible way. So let's see who's with us today. Okay, as I blend with the spirit world, I feel that I have a woman with me. I feel rather tall and sturdy with her. I feel like shoulders back. I feel like a rather large woman, and I feel like her hair would have never gotten below past shoulder length. But I do feel like she has soft hair, and she's very tall as she comes in. And I feel like she would have been in some ways stern, but also a very loving and kind person. I feel like a teacher with her, because I feel like as she comes in, she's teaching people, and not necessarily in a classroom. I feel like she did teach people, but more in a spiritual way. So I feel like she was more of a spiritual teacher, and she could be stern, but she was so loving that you could take that sternness and knew it came from the love that she had for you. She worked really hard in her life to uplift people, to help people. And she walked a spiritual path and set an example for others. So I feel like she's talking to students, especially, that may have experienced her in her life. And I feel like she had a great love for teaching, and she always felt wonderful when she saw her students being successful in their journey. She could see them move from one level to another, and that brought her great joy. I feel like she's coming in today with her strength and her power, because she's so powerful as she stands with me, and she's trying to bring that power to everyone who is watching, to say, walk the path and have the discipline that you need in your life to continue on the path. It's so easy in life to be distracted. When we make a choice to walk a spiritual path or to become better than we were yesterday, it's easy to be distracted by the things that outside of the path we've chosen. And when we take a step onto those other pathways, they lead us far away from what our true desires are. So I feel like she's coming in to help people stay steady in the path. Just keep walking, put one foot in front of the other, have discipline in your life to so that you can unfold your magnificence in the best possible way. I feel like she helped people unfold in their lives, spiritually unfold their gifts. And she's saying the only way that happens is when you walk the path with discipline and with dedication. So I feel like she's coming with this sense of dedication, sincerity, discipline, that you have it in you to do that. You just have to not give in to the weaknesses of walking the other paths that are always trying to distract you. And the longer you walk the path, the easier it is to move beyond those distractions. You'll reach a point that they won't even distract you anymore because you're so happy on the path that you've chosen. So choose your path and walk it with discipline and with focus, and you will reach your goal. You will get to where you need to be. And that works on a spiritual path. It works on any path that you have chosen, it's a discipline, dedication, and sincerity that will help you to be a success. So this is not just for people walking to develop their spiritual gifts. It's also for people walking to just be the best that they can be and to be successful in life. Dedication, discipline, sincerity. And that's what I feel like she wants to give to everyone. And I thank her for the love that she's actually bringing to everyone. And I hope that her students recognize her. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, I have a gentleman who comes in now, and he stands. I feel like he would have been a smoker. I have a cough with him, and I feel like he'd smoke like a chimney. I feel like he'd put one out and light up another one. So I have a whole bunch of smoke around me with this gentleman. But he's coming in around, I'd say he's in his 60s or 70s. He appears older than he was because of the way he lived his life. I feel like he didn't always take care of himself. He's showing me the cigarettes. He's also showing me drinking alcohol and having a good time for himself. So I feel like he would have played hard in his life, and he would have worked hard in his life. He's not too tall. I feel like he's maybe 5'9", 5'10", as he comes in, stocky build, and I feel like kind of curly hair with him. And I feel like he was a man's man. I feel like he was a laborer. He would have worked outside. He would have worked with his hands. He used his muscles. He was like strong to the ground, very grounded person. I feel like he dealt with what showed up in his life, but didn't think too much beyond that. I feel like he was just one foot in front of the other, took each day as it came. I feel like he did have a family. I'm seeing children with him and a wife. Though I feel like there's some sort of a separation there. So I'm not sure that they were together forever. I feel like there's a separation, so he may have left the family for a while. But I do feel like he came back into his children's lives later, after the separation. I feel like he later on became someone who mended his ways, he's telling me, and he was able to pull himself together enough to actually develop a relationship with his children again. So I feel like he cleaned himself up, because he's coming in now like clean shaven and hair combed perfectly and a big smile on his face. So I feel like he's coming in to say, it took me a lot of years to change. It took me a lot of years to realize that there was more to life than just enjoying the things I enjoyed in life, and I didn't always take my responsibilities seriously, and I sort of ran away from them by drinking and being away from my family. He said, but I realized what I lost, and it took me a lot of work to let go of the past and to change. But he said, when we make a change, it is so worth it. And he is so happy and proud of himself that he was able to do a 360, he tells me, and change his life completely. And he feels grateful that he was able to make amends with his children and to be able to let them know who he was when he was healed. So I feel like he's here today because he wants to encourage everyone, and especially his family, that if you're in a place that's dark and unhappy, you can change it. It's up to you. It took him so many years, and he wasted so many years of his life not understanding that. And he wants everyone to know that You can always change. There's never anything that you can't change if you just make a decision. He said, I thought about it for years and years, but I never stopped and made a decision. And once I did, and I was fully committed to that decision with my whole heart and soul, there was nothing that could move me off that path of healing and growth. So he says, just make a decision. Bring your heart into it, bring your mind into it, bring your soul into it, and you can do anything. So don't give up. Never ever give up. There's always an opportunity. Every time the sun rises in your life, you have an opportunity to change and to be who you really want to be. So you're not stuck with that one in the past that you're not proud of. You can move forward and be someone that you can be proud of. And he is so grateful that he was able to change before he passed, so that when he looked back on his life, he was grateful and he was happy and he was proud of himself that he was able to change. And that's what his lesson in life was all about. Change is possible. So he wants everyone to know change is possible. You're not stuck with who you were. You're creating yourself anew every day. And if you don't like who you are, then like who you are tomorrow and take the action that will put that into effect. And I leave you with his blessings and lots of love. Really strong guy, muscular and strong and happy, because he wants you to know he's very happy that he got to make that connection before he passed to the spirit world. So I leave you with his blessings. Lots of love. Okay, I have two women who are coming in. I feel like they feel like sisters to me. They're one on each side, and I feel like they're coming in together. I feel like they would have been sisters, and they were very, very close in life. I feel like they were close when they were young, and then when they had their families and raised their children, they were a little bit further apart from each other. But as they got older and when they retired, they were like this. They did everything together. They had so much fun together. They liked the same things. I feel like both of them were really beautiful women. They were beautiful growing up, but even as older women, I'm seeing them in their 80s, and they still look really good. They took care of themselves. They're tidy and neat and paid attention to their health and ate healthy ways and really cared for themselves. And I feel like they have so much love that they're coming in with today. So much love. And they're saying they both lived really good and long lives. But they're saying they each had their own struggles, because I feel like there was some dark times in both their lives. Really a lot of difficulties, a lot of doors closed for them. They're showing me closed doors for time being, but they said if you wait long enough, the doors open again. And sometimes life has us in our ups and downs, and we're in the downs and we think there'll never be ups again. But there always are. So don't get lost in the downs of life. Life is like this. It's always moving. And if you can remember that change is always possible, change is always happening, so never get stuck in the downside, just look up. And I feel like I have this one stepping forward is talking to her daughter, and she's saying, just look up. Just always look up, because things seem dark right now, but just around the corner there's so much light and there's so much happiness and joy coming your way. We can see it. And I feel like there's these rays of sun shining down on her daughter. And she's saying, I can see that light that's coming into your life. So don't give up. Times move. And you have to be patient and if you feel like the door is closed, just wait it out. Just be patient and keep looking up, because the light is always shining above the clouds. I feel like these are things she would have said to her daughter. She's smiling and happy and always encouraging, always lifting up. And she's saying, I'm with everybody else here. So I feel like I'm holding hands with a whole lot of people. And I feel like she's got a huge family there in the spirit world that are backing her up. And they're saying, we've got your back. So don't give up, hold the fort, be patient. We've got your back, and know that the light will shine again, and the days will be even brighter than they were in the past. So please take her uplifting message, because that's what I feel like they've both come to bring, uplifting messages. And I feel like they're just so cute, because they're just waving. They're waving to all their kids and all the people that they loved on this plane of existence. And they are holding the light for everyone. So please take their love and their peace and their beautiful blessings as they step back. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, I have another woman who's coming in, and I feel like she's coming in with a song, and she's singing, and she's bringing joy, and I feel like this lady would have sang around the house. She's a mother and a grandmother, an aunt and a cousin. I feel like she said, I wore every hat. She had lots of hats. So she's talking about especially her 3 children that she adored, and I feel like she's showing me herself humming around the house and doing the housework and doing what needed to be done. But when she sang, it always lifted her up. So I feel like she's coming in to encourage us to sing through our days, to hum a happy tune, to try to lift yourself up. Because I feel like she's saying that I wasn't happy every day. But no one knew that, because I hummed my way through it. And as I hummed my way through, I became happy. It changed. My whole energy changed. My whole demeanor changed. So sometimes you have to do things that will push you out of the sadness or the upset. And you have to do something as simple as humming or playing a song that lifts you up and makes you dance, because it will shift your mood, and you'll be able to look with clearer eyes at what's going on around you. I feel like she's someone who would have worked outside. I feel I'm typing, and I've got one of those erasers with bristles on the end. They were special erasers for typewriters, and they had a green thing on the back that you could brush the carbon away. So I feel like she's dating herself, because we haven't seen these typewriters in a long time. But she did work outside the home. She was she worked in an office. She did a lot of typing, and she was able to correct her mistakes. And I feel like as she's coming in, she's handing us all an eraser, and she's saying, if you don't like what's in your life, erase it. Just fix it. You have the power to do that. You can fix your own life by the choices that you make. So she's standing really tall and strong, and she's saying, I'm here to hum you a happy tune and help you to erase the things in your life that no longer serve you, and know that it's okay. Sometimes there's things in our life that we have to release. And she said it's hard to know whether we hold on or whether release them, but you have to listen to your heart to know if it's not serving your highest good, it's time to release it. So she's handing everybody a proverbial eraser and asking you to erase what no longer serves you. And that may be the anger in your heart. It may be the ice cream sundae in your freezer. Whatever it is, erase it. Remove things that are the temptations of your life, and allow yourself to create with happiness and joy, because life is meant to be enjoyed. And I feel like she thoroughly enjoyed her life. She's got this wonderful spark and this beautiful smile, and she wants you to know that you can too, and that there's a whole slew of people on the spirit side of life that are there to help you. Just ask and you will receive, because love surrounds you all. And I thank her for her wonderful message, and thank you. And take her joy and her love and her upliftment. And that's about all the time we have for messages today. But please know that you're all surrounded by the love of Spirit. There is someone there with all of you, and they're sharing their love with you. So please open your heart and receive it. And take your love and send it out to them, because they do get it. And I thank all of the spirit world who have worked to bring their messages and this energy of love through to each and every one of you. Thank you. And now just a few announcements before we close our service with the prayer. Next Sunday on August 9th, we have a Zoom gathering with Reverend Kathleen and myself doing messages. That will be at 1 p.m. If you're not on our email, please sign up, because you will get an email with the link in order to attend. That is Sunday, August 9th at 1 p.m. And then on Monday, August 17th, we have a Zoom meeting gathering at 7 p.m. and we'll have many mediums there to bring forth messages from the spirit side of life. And we also take a few moments to have a social gathering as well, and we move into smaller rooms where you can chit-chat and experience all of the wonderful people in our community. So hope you can join us, and our services will continue here on YouTube on August 16th, but please watch. Meditations are added all the time. Please like the channel and subscribe, because when you subscribe, you'll get a notification when new things come up. Also, please donate to our church. We can't pass the basket as we normally do. So here's me passing the basket. And please click on the website and make a donation. We greatly appreciate it. And we will keep you posted on when we will be back in our physical space. And now a closing prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we thank you for the healing, the peace, the love, and the grace that you have filled us with today. We thank you for the love that has come through us, for the spirit side of life, and touched each and every one of our hearts. We thank you for all the love that you fill us with. May we go out, creating ripples of love in our world, reflecting your light to all we encounter, so that we may all do our part to create a more perfect and beautiful world, because we are here. Thank you. Amen. And thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great week.